IrfanView seems to have been around for an absolute age. It's developed by a chap called IrfanSkillion, or Skillion, however you want to pronounce it. It's Windows only, and is an image viewer and converter with quite a lot of power under the hood. The rather plain interface has some icons that are largely greyed out at the moment, so let's activate a few by opening a photo. It's a TIFF, and here are the lads are off to France for a weekend. And it's possible to step through the images in a folder just by pressing the space bar, as I'm doing here. Or I could use these blue arrows to step forwards and backwards through the images. Now, an examination of the file menu at the top left reveals an awful lot of options, and buried in there is the thumbnail view. In fact, the way to view thumbnails is to press T on the keyboard with an image selected. The thumbs render pretty quickly, and if you hover the mouse you actually get some information about each image. Thumbnails can be sorted by various criteria: name, date, EXIF date, all manner of things, including whether or not they're portrait or landscape. And under the file menu in the thumbnail view there are various archive management tools. You'll notice at the top there, if you press F7 or select Move Selected Files, you can move into different folders, copy them to different folders, delete files from the disk, even start a slideshow. And here's a good one: JPEG lossless operations. JPEG's a lossy file format, and if you process one, then resave it over itself, you'll lose even more quality as it recompresses the file. So lossless JPEG manipulation is a good thing. Making a contact sheet is actually very easy. Just select the images you want on the sheet, and up comes a dialog. Set the sheet dimensions, the colour will have white, I think, number of columns. You can stretch images as well, like that, and then just create, and it comes up very quickly indeed. There you go, a contact sheet. You can even put in captions if you so wish. Now here's a man who's lost his ball, and we can zoom on that ball with these icons at the top left. Zoom in, zoom out. And there's yet more control over how I can actually view the image. Under the Edit menu, we can show a Paint dialog, which brings up a palette at the right hand side. I'll just drag it in a little bit there. A pointer for selections, some painterly tools that photographers don't usually use. There's a clone stamp for getting rid of little flecks and stuff off the image. But what is kind of handy is a straighten tool, and I'll do something fairly radical with it just to demonstrate. Draw a line. Usually you draw this along something that's supposed to be horizontal, but when you let go, the image rotates to the desired angle, although that is a bit squiffy. Undo, Ctrl Z, or via the Edit menu. 90-degree rotations are available under the Image menu. Rotate left or press L on the keyboard, R, rotate right, or custom rotations. By default 45 degrees, let's stick in say a value of just 2 degrees to demonstrate. You'll see the new image appears there in the preview. So now it's time for Man with Silly Hat and resizing or resampling. Here's the dialog for it. Numerous options. You can set a new size as a percentage, say 50%, or there are some presets, and so we wanted to put it on a website. 640 by 480 would do, and of course the DPI at the bottom should be 72 for the web. Apply a sharpen after resampling, because it tends to look rather better when you sample something down. There are numerous filters available. We'll use the slowest for best quality, and the results shows as a full screen preview. Of course, if you look closely, you'll see jaggies around the curved edges, so we'll change the view, go to original size, and there it is as it will appear on a web page. Now there's no undo on this. If we go to the Edit menu, you'll see it's greyed out. So the simple solution is just to reopen the original file if you change your mind. Right, it's time for some fun with the ball, and let's just have a little look at the information in this photograph. There's all manner of detail to be had: resolution, image size, original colours, and actually the number of unique colours in the shot. EXIF info, you need a separate DLL downloadable from IrfanView.com, which is a bit of an awkwardness. It's the same with IPTC information. Now we'll try an auto adjustment of colours, although it's a bit unfair because the camera that took this shot has pretty good colour rendition anyway, so you can't see much of a difference. We won't bother with sharpen, we'll go straight to effects. There are some here, and you can also use Adobe 8BF filters as plugins if you've got any on the system. But let's look at the effects browser. You'll see there's quite a few to choose from, and an image of this resolution you need quite extreme settings. You can choose to apply it to the original image, but I think we'll just go with OK on the one that we've got open right now. There we go. Takes a little time, so I'll fast forward it a bit. Come on, there we are. Not bad, not bad. Although once again there is no undo function, so I'll reopen the image to set it back to normal and introduce you to one of IrfanView's main strengths. Go to the options menu, properties, settings, awful lot to choose from, but extensions is where we want to look. This utility supports a ludicrous number of file types: Canon RAW, DirectDraw, PostScript, CompuServe GIF. Oh look, JPEG, very important. Kodak digital camera format, Photoshop document, TIFF of course, and audio and movie file types as well: MOVs, WMVs, AIFs, OGG Vorbis even. So as a multimedia file browsing tool, it's incredibly powerful. And the second thing to make a big song and dance about is batch conversion. You can select a folder full of files, change the file types, rename them, or do both. Now we've got a load of TIFFs and we want to output them as JPEGs, and the options for JPEGs are here. We'll have them top quality, we can keep the original EXIF data if we want to, and various other types of data. We'll click on OK. If we were going to rename, we'd put the name in here and then find an output folder. Here's one I created earlier, so that's OK. And then merely select all the files that you want to convert by dragging with the mouse. Click on Add and they appear down here in a queue. And then there's a Start Batch button at left. Click on it and off it goes. It takes a little while. You might want to put the kettle on at this point. But then again, I'm going to fast forward it. Let's just see how long it takes to do just the one. What it's doing is, rather than opening up the TIFF, it's processing it in the background. And it could save you an age rather than actually having to do it manually within the interface. Oh, there it is. And then it starts on the next one. Well, there they all are. A great long list of 16 files. Exit. And I'll go find that output folder. Where did I put it? Oh, it's on the archive drive. Good place for it, in the media drive. Here are our JPEGs. Open one. Open. And then, of course, we can go into thumbnail mode, either via the menu or hitting T, and up come the JPEGs. Incidentally, when switching back to the main view, make sure you haven't still got the rotate command in the paint palette highlighted, otherwise it'll do that, it'll rotate it. So let's look at the information. And you can see the file size is now 3.83 megabytes as opposed to the 25 megabytes or so of the original TIFF, because it's being compressed as a JPEG. So all well and good, but I've got a whinge. I was intrigued to see a Create Panorama image entry under the image menu, and I've got a panoramic set of shots of Moscow city centre, taken left to right, so I'm going to try and stitch them all together horizontally. Select to include. There they are. Create image, and what do you get? Well, a load of rubbish. Let's zoom in, shall we? IrfanView has not stitched them together, so Moskva Dynamo football stadium, well, there's 1.5 of it, and the Seven Sisters are multiplied. So I think we can forget about this software's panorama generation feature. Nevertheless, as a media viewer and batch converter, IrfanView's got a lot going for it. It's light on system resources and on your wallet, because it's free.